The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Welcome to Gate City Chronicles. I'm Kevin Avard, your host. And today we have a couple of guests, Michelle Lapierre and, did I pronounce that right? Lapierre?
Yes, you did, thank you.
And Patricia Mix. And you're from the Community Action Program?
We are.
And welcome to the show, so I get to shake your hand here.
Thank you.
How are you?
Thank you.
Well, Community Action Program. What is the Community Action Program?
Community Action Program, we are with the Community Action Program in Belknap, Merrimack counties. However, the program that we are part of does cover the whole state, as opposed to most programs are county driven. Community Action Programs has 85 different programs within our company, from fuel assistance to electrical assistance to child find. There's a million different programs. Ours is the Senior Companion Program.
Senior Companion
That's what
Program.
we're here to talk to you about. Yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome to the show, and from what I understand, Patricia, you're a senior companion?
Yes, I am.
What is a senior companion?
We are to try and help the visitee socialize and be a companion to them, be friendly with them, be a good listener.
Mostly shut-ins, or?
Well, we can take them out. A shut-in would be like a respite care. I have one of those, and you try to find things to keep them busy, to keep their mind active and busy, so that you can give the caretaker a break to get away from the house, because it's very taxing when you have an individual that is quite ill with a disease and they can't get out and you're their sole caretaker. That you have to take care, they have to take care of themselves. And we encourage them to come to us so that we can go in and have a cup of tea or cookie with them, get the person to, with looking what their ability is, to be able to do an activity. That would be a respite care, but otherwise we take them to get their hair done, go out to quick lunch, or maybe just a cup of tea or a beverage, something like that. I take them to doctor's appointments. In the springtime, I take them to Home Depot and different places to look at the flowers, just to brighten their day. Something to help them
Have a quality of life.
Right. So that it keeps them out of a nursing home.
Right.
And it keeps them home. A lot of times they don't have family or someone that's able to come over and do stuff for them. Maybe the kids live other states. Maybe they have no children and they have nobody.
There's something very debilitating about loneliness, isn't there?
Terribly lonesome. They're so glad when they get us, and then we're there like every Tuesday for 4 hours, and that's their day. And if the weather's bad or they're sick or we're sick or something, they get really upset because that's their day, and they look forward to it. And so you try and always be on time, always be there to care for them, be friendly, and be a good listener. Maybe you've heard the same story 100 times, but still you've got to just be glad it's very rewarding because it does a lot for the companion that gives you a sense of being able to give back to the community and to help somebody. I've had one lady for 5 years, and you become very close. But then you have to be careful that you don't get too close, and because you don't delve into the family life. You're there for that person, that gentleman, or that because we have gentlemen too, all with the ladies. And but they all love it. They love to go shopping, and I love to take them.
You do.
I like to, because I'm a shopaholic. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm not a shopaholic. I just like to go to Kohl's.
So it's mutually beneficial.
Yes, yes.
And it's a sense of community
Yeah.
and extended family indirectly, but
And to keep myself busy.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to sit there lonely, wishing my kids would call me.
right. When you said us, how many people are like you that do this?
I think there's between 70 to 80 women.
We currently have 63 senior companions for the state of New Hampshire,
Really?
which is certainly not enough.
So
Yeah.
you're looking for volunteers.
We are certainly looking for volunteers
Yeah.
desperately.
So what are the qualifications? How did you get involved? What you said you've been doing? You had some people for 5 years.
Yes.
What,
I learned about the program by a card that was sent out as an advertisement. And I looked at it and I thought, I think I'd like to do this because I was bored because I was an x-ray technologist for
My wife does
47
that.
years.
she at Little General, that's what my wife does, and she also does mammography.
Yeah.
But,
And so I worked for a doctor for 35 years. I worked till just about 8 years ago. And so I retired, but I didn't like being retired. I'm used to being busy. And as a technologist, and we're at the doctor's office, you're always busy
Sure.
with people. So it just came naturally to me that I wanted to do that and be able to help what I could.
were you ever nervous about your first visit?
Yeah, I always wondered about, will they like me? And I'm such a talkative person anyway. I can talk to most anybody, and sometimes I talk too much. But I have to be careful about listening more to them. Try to draw them out to get them to talk.
Sure.
And trying to talk to them about their family and their hopes and what they used to do. They're all interesting. They come from all walks of life. I've had housewives. I've had teachers.
You've had a lot of people
lot of-
that you've come to know.
Yes.
Michelle, how did you get involved with this? And how long have you been working in this program?
I came to the program as the program manager in July of this current year, so very short time, but it's been very exciting. We've brought on 24 new people in that time frame, and we're trying to grow the program. New Hampshire, as you probably know, is a very old state compared to other states. And the further north you go, the older the state becomes. So to provide services for, everyone in the community, we used to be only as far north as Plymouth, but we've expanded to Berlin and Littleton. We were only as far south as Derry, and now we're down to Salem, New Hampshire, as well as here in Nashua. So really trying to cover the entire state to provide the services. So because we are federally funded, so we do want to, really extend to everyone in need. We have giant wait lists, though. We have wait lists for every town in New Hampshire because we just don't have enough senior companions.
So when we're talking about senior companions, do you have to be a senior to be a companion?
Yes, there are some requirements.
Okay.
You must be over the age of 55. You must
Qualify. Yay!
you must meet some eligibility requirements in terms of income. It is a federally funded program. It's a stipended program, meaning that it's not a wage. The income that the person receives isn't income. It's not countable. It's dismissible when regarding any government assistance. So it's a way that a senior can make a little extra money and not have their senior housing go up or not lose any benefits.
Okay.
So they have to be income eligible. They have to have a vehicle and insurance, because they do drive the companions or the visitees around. They might bring them to the pharmacy, the senior center, Kohl's. They do bring them.
We do love
on
Kohl's and
errands.
Kohl's Cash, don't we?
Yes. And most importantly, they have to pass a background check. We do a very thorough vetting process to make sure that they're safe, because we're talking about a very vulnerable population.
Sure.
So we want to make sure that.
Not just anybody's entering a home.
Correct.
Even
So everyone is fully background checked before they begin.
Okay. And how, do you process that as the administrator, or?
I do. I take care of all the background checks, my coordinators as well, depending on what part of the state they're located in.
So there's a waiting list. How big is this waiting list?
There is no wait list to be a senior companion. As far as to become a visitee or somebody that the senior companions visit with, it depends on what part of the state someone's located in. How many companions do we currently have? How many people are looking, for a senior companion? Does the person have pets? Are they a smoker? There's different things that can make the wait list longer. We have very few men in the program. So if it's a gentleman that would like a gentleman companion, it's very hard to match them because I have so few men that are willing to volunteer for this. But we do the best that we can, and our companions they always rise to the occasion. When I beg them to take on 2 more hours a week, they step up and they do it.
So to be a person on the wait list, what is the process? How does one say, you know what, I'm tired of being alone. I'd like somebody at least just to stop by, maybe talk politics or talk about the news or take me shopping to Kohl's?
Well, they have to be open to weekly visits.
Okay.
We're not a transportation service. A lot of people call and say, I need a ride to the doctor's appointment. We're not set up to do that. The companions will bring them to doctor's appointments, but they have to know that they're going to see their companion for 4 hours on a Tuesday, so to make the appointment in that time frame. And they may not go out every single week. They may go out. It depends on the relationship with the companion and the visitee.
We help them to get services they may need, because
Certainly.
I champion and that I have encouraged people to get hearing aids, get cataracts taken care of, encourage them that, you can afford glasses, you
Sure.
know. This is your quality of life.
New companion in Salem, her visitee, she helped the person get on Meals on Wheels. She then taught them about fuel and electrical assistance and helped them with the process to get on those benefits. A lot of people just don't have the knowledge. So the senior companions go through extensive training and ongoing training, so they have the resources to be able to help other people.
You can share those resources, let people know what's available. Probably you have to keep that updated.
Yes, we have a in-service meeting once a month that is very good. They always give us good speakers and exciting things to learn more about. Even for me on certain things, like I didn't know the depth of Alzheimer's. I didn't know the depth of other diseases that some of the people had, even though I was familiar with them.
Sure.
And so it helps us to understand that Alzheimer patient, that I'm sitting with the wife that's the Alzheimer patient, and to let the husband take a break and be able to go out and do things. And all he wanted to do was just go down to the basement and play with his trains to just get away for an afternoon.
It helps them both, right?
Yes,
He
it
needs a
keeps
breather.
them healthy
Right.
to be able to care for them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I had a friend, he had a similar situation and just wanted to walk the dog,
yeah.
just to get out. But
Yeah.
it got to the point where he had to be there constantly, and eventually long-term care kicked in. But it was something that he did have. I think it was visiting nurses or something. This is different than visiting nurses, though.
It is. Our companions don't do anything having to do with meds or medical. They don't do any housework. It's purely about companionship. They're not even there to remind somebody to take their pills. They're only to work during the hours that the company is open. They have pretty strict guidelines they have to stay within, program policy, because we are fairly regulated. So they're pretty good about, maintaining the standards that we expect.
So how many folks have you come across in your
Well, I've been almost 6 years now, and I think I've had 9 or 10, because some of them end up in a nursing home. Some of them have, a couple of them have passed. But that's why you don't want to you want to have empathy, but not too close, because it really affects you, because you become their friend.
Right.
And a lot of times they tell you things they wouldn't tell their kids.
Sure.
And
that's therapeutic in itself. People actually
Yes.
pay people to do that, don't they? They're
Yeah.
called counselors.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. And so I have a regular schedule. I have 4 people a week, and I only work afternoons because I don't like to get up early. I don't like work to 9 to 12 because
They make their own schedules. I don't micromanage you.
And so I have my afternoons, and I work 4 days a week, and I take Friday off to do my house cleaning and do whatever that I want to do. And I look forward to them, because I kind of schedule a little bit with them about, well, is it time to get your nails cut? Or because a lot of people have to have foot care. Or is, gee, maybe you should have your hair cut. You know,
Right.
I've encouraged ladies that, yes, you can afford to go to the beauty salon, because then you feel wonderful.
Right.
And it's
Yeah,
all
healthy
about
spirit is-
encouraging them.
And the people that we visit with, there are no guidelines in terms of income. Somebody that wants a senior companion, they can have as much or as little money. Their only requirement is that they're over 55 and they're homebound, meaning they don't have transportation. They may live with a son or daughter that has transportation, but if they can't drive themselves, they're eligible.
So the volunteers have to be over 55?
The volunteers, my companions, have to be over 55.
And the
And the visitees, the people they visit with, are over 55. Seniors helping seniors.
I'm a senior. I can't believe that. Oh my goodness.
No comment.
No comment. I know but it is a beautiful thing, and companionship. There is definitely a health benefit for that. You're actually keeping somebody emotionally healthy.
And I think that's why it was funded to begin with. I believe back with Johnson, President Johnson, instituted it to start with, to keep the cost down from the state or the government taking care of them, and that they would be kept out of a nursing home rather than
The program is designed to keep people from assisted living or nursing homes as long as they can. Let them maintain their independence.
So, which begs the question: do you visit at nursing homes?
No.
You do not.
Do not. No nursing homes, no assisted livings. They must be living independent. If somebody does go into a nursing home, they can have 3 or 4 visits for closure. But at that point, they're not as isolated. They have supports.
I
They're in
see.
a place where there's somebody else keeping an eye on them. Whereas if somebody's living independently in the community, it's nice to have a companion go in there once a week. They can see them decline. Oftentimes they'll be the ones to contact the son or daughter and say, you know, I noticed that your mom's dementia seems like it's getting worse. You might need to, you know, have evaluations done.
So, what kind of protections for the volunteers do you have? For instance, you're going into somebody's home. You're not supervised or anything of that nature, and you know, false accusations or whatever. How do you protect the volunteers? If
It hasn't really been an issue that we've struggled with. The coordinator and the station supervisor generally will go with the companion to be introduced to the visitee. If it's not what they feel a safe situation, if there's hoarding or anything else that makes us feel that this is not appropriate, we can terminate immediately. If the companion calls me with a concern, we can terminate immediately. There's no rule to say they must stay. They must continue for the 4 hours they're supposed to be there. They can, if they're feeling unsafe at any given time, they can leave. In my time and in anything I've read we've had this program at my company since I believe 74. I haven't heard of any situation where something happened, knock on wood, but you know, it could happen, and that's part of why we do the introduction, and they have the monthly meeting where they talk about their caseloads. And
yeah, so when you're recruiting volunteers, there's just that concept. Well, it's safe. It's a safe thing to do to go into people's homes and.
You have to be careful, though. You have to be vigilant. One of the in-service training she talked about, which happens once a month for 4 hours, we picked 2 topics to have training on, and one of them that they did was personal safety. I don't know if that was in your area, but that I thought that was a relevant topic, just to be aware and just some little tools to be more safe.
Sure.
Another issue that we're going to be doing coming up soon is grief. We lost a senior companion, and a lot of the other companions are very distraught. So one of the in-service trainings is going to talk more about grief. Before the show started, we were talking about seeing a lot of the visitees struggling with depression. So that made me think, you know what, one of the next meetings, I really want to get a counselor in there to talk to them about depression and how to help a senior who's depressed deal with that. So if I hear something, that's when we kind of use that as an upcoming training idea.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's no rules. It's just what we think is relevant, what's going on right now. Right now, with the opioid epidemic, that's something I'm going to be going to a training, and I'll probably bring back to my seniors, because that affects seniors as well.
A lot of these seniors have too many medications.
Oh, yeah.
We have to be aware of different things. Some of us, I think, that have a medical background, nurses, some of the people are nurses or nurses' aides, you get used to being aware of things that's happening in the home. Because I think when we go in there with our heart.
Right.
And just like it was grandma or grandpa or somebody, or cousins or whatever, you're going to be visiting. And with our introductory interview with the manager that manages us as companions, she will introduce us to the people, and usually we're with the daughter or a son or somebody else that's there. And you can get a good idea whether that's a safe environment or whatever.
Okay.
And the things that we notice in the home as we're there, then we can report it to our station manager that I see this happening. There's way too many pills, and then last time the bottle was full and now it's not as full. Where are they going?
Sure.
And so I think some of those things that you have to be selective about what you don't talk to them about finances or anything like that, because we're there just to be a friend, and that's the way we treat it. And it's nice because sometimes I'll take in some Irish soda bread, because this one lady never had it before.
Really?
And I thought, well, we'll try it. And so it's a giving. It feels good to give.
Sure.
And I think it keeps us as companions younger, too.
It does have a beautiful sense of
Yeah.
community, and it is an expression of love, for certain.
Yeah. I don't do this for money.
Right.
Even the stipend, because I do it for the reward and what I've always been. That I was 48 years working for doctors and hospitals, and it's just in my blood.
Sure.
Our program is not about getting rich. Certainly
Yeah.
not.
But you are enriching lives.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
enriching lives.
Absolutely.
And it helps me have a new car, which I would probably be driving a 10 or 12-year-old car. So it keeps me with that. And I think my children like it because Mom's busy. She's
It's also, if you don't mind me saying, I think it's a beautiful legacy that you leave when
yeah.
it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah.
You've been giving into the community for and enriching other people's lives, and in turn enriching your own life. So it's definitely mutual.
Because I think they grow to not love you, but very much fond of you, as we are them.
Sure.
I have one that I have to kind of watch and scale back, because I've had her for 5 years. She's 92, and I love her to pieces. And sometimes, she can't see. She's sight impaired a little bit. Her hair is kind of messed up. I just go get a brush and I brush her hair.
Mm-hmm.
You treat them like you'd want your family treated.
Yeah.
So how do people get in touch with you?
They can call the office, 225-3295, ask for the Senior Companion Program. and they'll speak to one of the staff who will take down their information.
So, if you want to be a volunteer, that's who you'd call. And if you want to be on the waiting list,
Same
that's who you
phone
call.
number. Certainly.
What are the typical type of questions that if you want somebody to come visit you, what are typical questions that you would ask of them?
I would ask if they have any other services in place. I'd ask if they are a smoker, if they have pets. I would ask if there's stairs to get into their home. I would ask what some of their medical issues that they're dealing with currently are. Not that that would exempt them or have any bearing on it, but just so that we're aware. You know, I want to be able to know this individual has dementia. So when the companion is going to be working with them, we have a little bit more knowledge about that person. It's a very brief intake. Oftentimes, I don't get phone calls necessarily from the person looking for the visit themselves so much as other community individuals, the VNA, Home Health and Hospice, Meals on Wheels, senior centers. They're very likely to call me and say, I know somebody, I've already gotten permission that I'd like you to call because I think that they could use some friendly visits.
Okay.
So
a third party can actually do that on your behalf.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, I think it's a beautiful, beautiful program, and it's definitely a good example, obviously, of a community program that helps. It's a beautiful thing.
We're very happy with it. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They're a great group of people.
Yeah, and we all, the visitees, have a good time because we get a wonderful Christmas party, and we have different things that we all can get together so that we see
3
each
large
other
events
once in
a
a
year,
while.
yeah.
A summer picnic.
Big
and-
recognition event coming up in May.
Nice.
I like surprising them with
So-
lots of recognition items to say thank you because they don't get paid enough.
Yeah. And the community action also pays us mileage, so we're not, worried about, gasoline or things like
Sure.
that. From my home to the visitee and then back home is taken care of along with the stipend.
So there's incentive there. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Well,
we really appreciate it.
Really appreciate it, and thank you
Thank
for your
you.
community service.
Yeah.
And if you know somebody who needs a companion, they're willing to take the call.
Or would like
And-
to be a companion.
Or if you'd like to be a companion, you got to be 55 or older. Wow, welcome to our world, right? Until next week, thanks for watching Gate City Chronicles. We'll see you.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.